Hey guys, I've got a continuous hinge door here and I want to show you guys how to adjust it. We've got it dragging a little bit on the bottom. It's kind of a common thing that we'll see on some of these doors depending on installation, and I want to be able to show you guys how to adjust it. These are continuous hinges, so it means it runs from the floor all the way to the top, and you don't have any screws that adjust to be able to shift your door up, down, side to side, whatever. So we're going to be able to manipulate this by applying some pressure to the frame by using some leverage against the glass. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that, but I'm going to first grab you over here, show you some of the stuff that I'm looking at up close, and then we'll go from there. All right, so coming on over, like I said, we got this cap right here hides our hinge. It runs all the way from the top down to the bottom of the door. Now this one is operating pretty well, but it's having just a slight hitch on the bottom. So we're gonna try and get rid of that, make sure that there's absolutely no dragging whatsoever. For this door, we have, flip that guy around. We do have a multi-point on this door. That button gets pressed. We've got a point that comes out right there, and then down at the bottom right there. So what we're gonna be able to do is I'm going to take this door. I'm gonna first take one of my shims. This one is probably, I think they say it's a 16th, it's closer to an 8th or somewhere in between. I'm gonna put it right here on the ground. Then I'm gonna shut my door right on top of it. And so sometimes it's gonna be running into it like that, and you're gonna need to help pick your door up. This is kind of what we're looking for. We wanna help acclimate that door, especially when we're gonna be adjusting it to the position that we want to be in. So it's gonna hit right there. I'm gonna set you guys off to the side so I can get that in the right position in just a second. But first, I wanna show you, we have a rubber piece of vinyl, sliding right there. Rubber piece of vinyl that runs around the perimeter of the door. This piece right here is called your stop. This holds your piece of glass into the door, and the vinyl combined with your stop is acting together. So once we pull the vinyl out, we'll be able to pull the stop away, and then we'll be able to manipulate the glass. We're not going to pull all of the vinyl out, and we're not going to pull all of the stops out. The only vinyl that we're going to be taking out is going to be probably 2 feet down from the top on each side, and then across the top we need to get that out as well. We will pull the top stop because that's where we're going to be doing the majority of our work. One of the things I will mention is on some of these doors they do STL bars, which means they have a bar that runs across the face of the glass. So when you have that, you're not able to pull your vinyl down as far. The idea would be is pull your vinyl down as far as you can, because that's providing friction and tension against the glass that you need to be able to overcome as we're trying to adjust this. I'm gonna set you guys down. I'm gonna make sure I get all my stuff in place. I'll show you all the tools that I'm bringing out. So if you ever have to do this, or if you want just more tools in your garage, shed, whatever you got, then I'll give you a shopping list for Home Depot. So that's on there. I'm going to engage my multi-point just so that it's tied in at 3 points. So I've got the 2 multi-points and then the plunger right here. Tools that we're going to be using, we call them pick tools. I've got a 90-degree right here. There's a hole in the vinyl that I'm going to try and grab onto and be able to pull out to be able to get my stops out. The other thing is going to be a pry bar. So, like we talk about all the time, the worst thing that you can do for glass is put metal against it, particularly on the edge. So what you're going to want is to make sure that you have rubber shims with you. So, I've got more of my hard plastic shims, which we'll be using here more in a second, and then I have several different sized rubber shims. So whenever I put my pry bar against the glass, it's not going to be against the glass. I'm going to put the rubber, then my pry bar on top of that, and that's how I'm going to be able to use the leverage right there. So I'm going to grab out several of these guys for when I get up there. And I already have one that I'm starting to work off for my cuts, so I'll use that guy right there. If you have a hard plastic shim that is probably an inch wide, what is it, inch wide by 3/4 by, if it's the 16th thickness, that's going to be perfect. For us, we've got the 16th roughly thickness, so we just cut ours to size at that point. So we've got probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches right here, and then I'll cut it about 3/4 of an inch to probably closer to 1 inch wide for when I'm trying to shim it in the door. So I'm going to jump up on the ladder. I'll try and adjust the angle so that you can see what I'm doing better, but I'm going to adjust my ladder, get you guys all set up, and then we'll get to it. All right, so got my pick tool. I've got a seam right here. The rest of it just runs the perimeter and reconnects right there at the corner. So I'm going to work on trying to get this vinyl out right here. So it's gonna, sometimes it'll take a couple little tries. Oh, look at that right there. First time got lucky on this one. Get that down. Music in the background, so I might not even be able to post this video. Anyways, other side. Like I said, I want to be able to pull as much down as I can just to make sure that I have as little friction as possible. The other thing to take note of, here's my stop. So it's not a full square, and that's why we put the rubber against it to provide that tension to hold it in place. So I hold it down about 2 feet. I do want to leave some of it in there so that my stops aren't coming out. Now we're going to set our rubber shims. All right, I'm going to grab you guys and show you exactly what I'm looking at up there. All right, so there's my rubber shims. And right here, this is the stack that we're going to be trying to add on to and try and get this frame to come up a little higher. So this door is from the Wild Wild West, or from our manufacturer, I should say, in the Wild Wild West, which means their corner blocking is going to look like this. They've got one here, one down, and then they do those two corners on either side of that corner right there. That allows us, since we have nothing here and here, and then on the opposite corners, that's what allows us to be able to use the leverage to bring this door panel up and get that closer right here and bring us off of the threshold. I'm going to set you guys back down. I'm going to be putting my pry bar right here, and then I'm going to be pushing up against the frame while I try and slip another shim inside this stack right here. That's going to be our big goal. I've tried before pulling down on it, but I do get the best result when we're trying to, since the big idea is to get this frame up, we're going to try and push up on the frame rather than pull down on our pry bar trying to get leverage. So I'm going to set you guys down and I'm going to get to it. Your shims are going to want to be the width of your glass because they do have, basically it's a sealant that they seal in, usually it's a gas that's inside here. We don't want our shim just to be pushing into that because that will be flexible and allow for this panel to start dropping down again. So the goal will be is that we rest it, it'll be landing on both pieces of our glass since it's a dual paned piece of glass right here. So if it's a 3/4 inch piece of glass, put a 3/4 inch or a little larger piece of your shim material. If it's an inch, same thing, so on and so forth with your sizes. once you have your shims in there, you feel like you've got it in the right spot, make sure you check your door. So we'll open it up, pull our shim, operate it a couple times to see, have we gotten rid of the rubbing at the bottom. Shim comes out. Alright, no more rubbing. That scraping that you might be hearing is from our little plunger guy right there. Nothing at the bottom anymore. Alright, so we're going to put our stop back in the top, roll our vinyl back up and around, and that should be it. Set you guys back down, I'll let you watch what's going on, and then after that we'll call it a video. Alright guys, vinyl's reset, stop's reset, there we go. Door's operating really well. So at this point, it's time to call on this door. We're going to go take a look at some of the other doors. Hopefully the music isn't interrupting too much in the background so that this video can stay up on YouTube. But until the next time, I hope you guys have a great day, great week, or however long it's going to be. See you, everybody.